Today we're taking a look at the Skylight Calendar Max. A huge thank you to Skylight for sponsoring this video. I'm really interested in seeing how this can really utilize all the things that our family's doing and incorporate it into one display, because this is more than just a calendar. We have our calendar synced, but we also have tasks, meal plans, and more. We're also going to be doing a comparison between the Amazon Echo Show 21. Let's get started. To get this installed, we're first going to find the average height of our kids to see where we're going to place it, and that's going to be where the mount goes. Then we're going to find the stud in the wall just to make sure that this is securely mounted. Next, we're going to find the middle of the wall to have it be even and look really nice. And this can be oriented in landscape or portrait mode, and you could change it after the installation, which is cool. So they give you this guide on where it's going to be positioned. Then we're going to put up the mount, and it does have a built-in level. So this is gonna make sure it looks really nice in the home. Then I'm going to mark where I'm going to drill out with the drill bit that's included. Now that we have a hole in the stud and the sheetrock, then I'm going to add the anchors and hammer them in and put in the screws. This does need to be plugged in, so before I mounted it, I made sure there was an outlet underneath. Now here on the back, I have the option to route the cable here, and then you can have it be in the vertical or the horizontal position, and it's nice that you can switch that at any time. Install. Almost forgot to add the frame. They just snap on the sides and the top. Now that it's installed, we're going to create our account on the Skylight app, available on the App Store as well as the Play Store. Now, after setting up the account, it'll ask if you want to set up a calendar or a frame. Today, we're doing a calendar. That's what gives you all the awesome calendar features. So here I'm going to go into calendars, and then here it says get an activation code. And now I'm going to input that on the screen. After selecting our time zone, we are now ready to enter the calendar. And here we have our awesome Skylight Calendar Max. This thing is huge, coming in at 27 inches. Definitely fills up the space here on this wall. So here you can see our nice big calendar. Over on the sides, we can jump to all kinds of things like our tasks, our reward, our meals, photos, and lists. Now that we have our Skylight set up, it's time to get all of our information over here. So you can manually add it right down here. You have the plus, and you can then go through and add different events. There is the magic import option where you can forward emails to the email address you created. You can send PDFs, send photo screenshots, or you can just directly add the email that you created to the event on your calendar, whatever calendar you're using. But I want to import the Google Calendar I already have, and this supports all kinds of calendar imports. So right here on the Skylight app, you can see all the different things we can do as well. So these are all going to directly sync together. But we're going to go into Calendar. We're going to add, and here we can do all these options, but I want to import a bunch of calendars. So we're going to tap the synced calendars, going to choose add, and here you can see you can choose a Google Calendar, Outlook, iCloud, Cozy, Yahoo, and even just a calendar by URL. So I have Google, and then we're going to add our Gmail address. And there we have the option to do a two-way sync or just one way. Everything's going to show up on the calendar, but not back to Google. Definitely going to choose two-way sync. Then we're going to verify. I needed to allow for permissions, and then we're going to choose the different calendars that we want. I have a lot of these, so just give me a second. All right, that looks good. I've now added the calendars, and boom, instantly you can see all of my different events have been added over here. And with this nice touchscreen, look how smooth that is. And there you can see instantly all of my calendars show up here, and this has a really nice smooth touchscreen. We can see what's going on. So over here we have today. There's the red line showing what is going to come after that. Pretty open evening. And then here we have the next day events and so on. But let's say there's an upcoming event. I want to create one. I'm just going to add, and we're going to carve some pumpkins. Easily type in, when do I want to do this? Well, I like to do it the week before. So maybe the Monday night before Halloween is a good day to do that. And I can easily come in here and choose the time. Very simple to use this interface. And then I can even choose what calendar I want that added to. So you can choose multiple calendars, or you can see the letter of the calendar you want. So F is going to be our family calendar. And if we want it to repeat, we can do that. And we could also do a countdown to that day as well. So let's go ahead, turn on the countdown and tap save. And now if we scroll over here, we can see all the events that are upcoming. And right there, Monday night, we have a carve pumpkin event coming up. And back on the app, if we head into the calendar, you can see that everything has now been synced to here. There you can see that our carving pumpkins has been added. So very seamless between the app and the screen. And here, everyone in the house can see what is going on, so we don't have to constantly be asked. Now in the evening, it does stay on, but you have the option to turn on sleep mode. So here we can have it automatically schedule 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's going to turn it off. We're going to save that. And because it's 9 p.m., then it will go into sleep mode. We have now been using our Skylight Calendar Max for a few days. We have been loving everything that we can do. Let me show you how we have it set up. Here we have our main calendar page. So it's just showing the next 4 days, all the events. So nice that everything was easily synced here. Now at the top, we have some other things. You can do countdowns for certain events. We have a birthday coming up in a few days. Here we're gonna carve pumpkins in a few days. So it's nice that you have all of that information on one screen. You can adjust this. Here we have the schedule. We can see the day schedule. So it's gonna show this cool month view. And then every appointment that we have today, you can go down and you can choose the week. So you have this nice display of all the events by day in that week. And you can go and see the full month at one time. This is a ton of information. You just want to see exactly what's happening that month. You have that option. And then at any time we can come in here and filter down what is showing. So we can turn off the countdowns, we can turn on task progress, and we can do some other things. So I'm actually going to turn on task progress to see how that's going. And there at the top, you can see that we now have the kids' tasks of what they have completed today. And we can go back to the main view by going to schedule. Awesome. Love how easy that is. And then you can even see that there's other things incorporated in here, like the meal that we're having today, and you can add emojis, lots of fun things. So let's go ahead and go to our task list. So here we have the kids and what they need to do each day. And then you have the option to tap and show the filters for the certain things. So here, if we just want to see what they need to do in the morning, we can see that, and they've checked it off. When they check it off, it gives them a nice little confetti, makes it really fun, easy to use. So let's say we want to see what she has this evening or other chores. So tonight we have the garbages that need to be taken out. So I created a weekly occurrence where that's happening. And then every other week we have the recycling that needs to be taken out. So up here we can always go through the next few days. And there you can see in the next week, we will have the garbage and recycling that needs to be taken out on that specific day. And that will repeat every week. I don't have to keep entering it in or anything like that. So love how this works. And then they have all their chores, and you can do this for each kid. You can have parents' profiles on here. So this is all within the profile. Now, next there is a feature here called rewards. We're going to get more into that later. That is one of the premium features. Then we have meals. So this is so fun, quickly showing every day of this week and what meals are available. Breakfast and lunch, it's kind of whatever, kids are at school. But dinners, we can come in here and choose, and the kids love knowing this. Before, we've been writing this down on the fridge, and we always forget to do that, and we have to clean the fridge. But now we can have it all central right here, easy to see. And then even if we're having a special event, we can add like the snack or the dessert for that day, which makes it really fun and interactive. Now let's say I wanted to add a lunch for today. So today my lunch is going to be pretty simple, but we can come over here. We can see the different recipes we've already used. We can choose what that's going to be for. If we want to add a new entry, we can then just easily come in here and type out what we want to have on there. My kid's favorite thing is you can come over here, tap the little emoji icon, and then you can go to the food item and you can find something that might work for that. So let's go ahead and choose that, and you just tap off the screen and the keyboard goes away, and you can save that to your recipes. You can add ingredients, all that stuff. All right, there we go. We have added sandwiches for the next few days. So pretty simple, but really effective on how this is going to help the kids stop asking us what's for dinner. They can come and check out the Skylight. So over here on the list, we then have the option to create our grocery list. So we can easily add things, and I love that I can just go onto my phone. Let's say I remember an item while I'm away. So I can just come into the Skylight app, tap on my list, and then we need to go ahead and add yogurts to the shopping list. Boom, add that. And already yogurts has been synced over here to the list. So seamless communication between the app and the display. And then here we have other grocery lists. And let's say I'm out doing groceries and I check off an item. There you can see, boom, instantly they are being checked off. So we have grocery lists, and then you can even add to-do lists. So very simple, quick, and easy to use. Now with all the organization, I also have the option to create a custom color for everything. So if I go into calendars, I can then see here that we have different color codings for things. If I go into the filter, I then have the option to go into a specific calendar, and here I can choose the color. So that's going to be for her specific calendar, then she easily knows that that is hers. We can also go back and we can go under the profiles, and then for whatever the specific person has set their color, you can have those all show up. So under Gwen here, we have the pink color and everything. So I can even go in mine, and if I want to adjust the color, it will sync that, and it will also do that as well for the linked calendar. And right here, we have one color set for Adele, so we can actually go in and give her a specific color. And then we've set her calendar to a different color, so I can go in and I can merge into an existing profile, link that to her one that we have already created. And now it has linked her tasks as well as calendar to the same profile. And now we are seeing the items show up as one color instead of a dual color. Now the kids have also really liked how up here at the top, even if we're on any view, you can see the current date as well as the time and the weather outside. Makes it so they don't have to keep asking us. Now let me show you all you can do with the task list. So in here, it's easy to create a task. You just tap the plus down here, and then we have all kinds of options. So first you would need to add an item. So let's go ahead and say we want to do homework. Now you're going to have chores or you're going to have routines. We'll talk about in a second, but you're going to then choose an emoji if you want. So of course, homework makes me feel like this. And then you're going to choose the profile. So if I want just one of the kids to have a task of a chore, or if I choose all the kids, they can have that as well. So now we have the chore. This is something that you would just want done kind of one time, maybe once a week, or every day during the week. You could come in here and choose the chore. You set the date you want that done. You can choose the time you want that done, and then you can turn on if it repeats. You could have it every week, you could have it repeat every day, and then you could stop at a certain point. So that will work. And then we also have the option for a routine. So let's say we want them to do homework once a week. No, but when you choose week option, you can do multiple times during the week. So Monday through Thursday, do some homework. And let's say that that's going to be the evening. You could also have it set for multiple times. Scroll down there, we are done. Tap add, and now it has added the homework. And now we have that she needs to do homework tonight, and very happy about that. So really cool how seamless the task list is. And that is pretty much how simple this can be, but yet effective. The kids have already been going in and adding things on their own that they want to keep track of, or they're asking us what's for dinner, and they're going and planning the week, helping us so that we don't have to do all those tiny little tasks each day. But if they are coming over here adding things, it kind of helps take away some of the burden that we have as parents as well, which is great. Now, one thing I love about this is how it's able to change when it's in the landscape mode to the portrait mode. So all I have to do, switch it to portrait and everything reformats, and now you have this nice tall display. So just depending on how you want to see it, here you can see that full calendar event where you have the week items and you can see the full items on the specific day, and everything else looks really good on this. So it's really nice that you have the option to orient it whenever you want and whichever way you want. So everything I've shown you here is actually what you get when you purchase the device. But there are some enhanced features that you can get when you pay for Calendar Plus. It's their premium subscription, $79 a year, and you get some really awesome features. Some things like being able to quickly order your items on your grocery list to Instacart, or you can then have take a picture of something and instantly add it to the calendar, or you can have items like a recipe book be put in here. So let's check out some of those features. The first Calendar Plus feature to talk about is called Sidekick. This allows you to easily add a bunch of information to your calendar in Mac. So first we have the import of different events. So let's say you get an event from school and you then want to add it to calendar. You just forward it to the email address you have and boom, it puts it in there. You can also take a picture of multiple events and then send it to the Sidekick and it will automatically upload that. And you can even take a picture of a recipe and it will import it into there so you have all the recipes right on the screen. Let's check that out. Let's start with this party invite that was sent to me. So I'm just going to forward it and add the email address that I have for my calendar and hit send. And then it's automatically going to be input into Sidekick and added to the calendar. And going to the next week, there we have our Halloween party added to the calendar. And so here in the Skylight app, we have the other Sidekick features. So we can import events, just turn PDFs, emails, photos into smart events. Then we have plan meals. So more than just seeing what meal is on there, we can actually plan meals right here from the app. So I can go in, I can set dinner. I can say, all right, I want dinner today. And we can, choose every day of the week. How many people do we need to feed? 6. And then I can say, I want to generate new recipes or take from new and existing recipes. So after you've added a bunch, you can also add items to the grocery list that you need to buy. So boom. So let's create the meal plan. And once it completes, here it has all the recipes and meal plans that it has added. And then it has all these items that we can then add right to our shopping list. So quite a bit we need to do, but then over here on the calendar, you can see that it instantly imported a bunch of meals here. So depending on when you have set them, it makes it really easy to add all those dinner events that I don't have to think about it, and then I can just simply go and plan what has been created for me. And if it ends up not being what you want, you can always undo the import. Then here in the shopping list, if I want to go ahead and order through Instacart, I just have to go up here to order, and then I can get the ingredients. And now all the items from my grocery list, as well as the upcoming food calendar items that we've added, have been added to my shopping list. So here we have the ketchup, chips, the bread, the Otter Pops, eggs, and then all these other things are coming from the meal plans that I created of things that I will need. So it's great that I instantly did that. And now with a click of the button, I can move on and the groceries will arrive soon, keeping the house moving. Now, one thing I'm really excited about is importing recipes. So we have a big recipe book, tons of recipes, but it would be nice if we could easily access them and have a record of them. So I want to add this recipe. I'm going to import the recipe, and we're going to add this as a snack because it is dessert. So you can find one online. You could add a URL. You could just talk into your mic, upload an image, or take a new photo. So let's go ahead, take a photo. We're going to grant permission while using the app. Now I do have kind of two types of the recipe here. Let's see how this does. And we have success. Our chocolate chip cookies recipe has been added, and we can go into the details and see that it added all of the ingredients as well as the instructions to make this chocolate chip cookie recipe. So cool. This is now integrated into Skylight. Let's see how it looks on the calendar Max. Here on the meals, I'm going to go ahead and add a snack, and right over here we have the chocolate chip cookies. So once it's time to make that snack, we're going to go in here, and there we have all the ingredients we need, and we have the instructions that were written exactly like it was on the paper. Love how that's so simple and easy to understand. And then you have the option to import a list, so you can then choose an existing list or another list. So if you've written one down, you can then quickly import it. And then I also like that under Sidekick for importing events, I can go in, choose a person that I want to import, and then I could take a photo, I could import with using my mic, upload a photo, or even forward those emails. Volleyball game today at 3 p.m. And there it was added to the calendar. Now next up, let's talk rewards. Now getting the kids to actually complete the task that we've added is a bit of a challenge, but that's where the rewards feature comes in. So with this, we can go in and create a specific reward. Let's say Adele wants to have a sushi day. So I can say, all right, after you receive 100 stars, I'll take you out for sushi. And then you can go into the different tasks and set how many stars you want each point to be available for. And then once they do that, they get the stars. This can be really motivating for the kids to then achieve a goal, and it makes it easy for me to have them do it. Helping around the house makes everything work better. Let's see how they can get their rewards. So here on my phone, I can go and see the different tasks. So let's go under taking the garbage out. And I want to edit this. And right here, I have the option on my phone to add stars. So let's say it's 2 stars every time she takes the garbage out. Now there are some parental controls that you can add to the display, but the rewards is done on the phone, so they can't easily add their own stars. So here it's showing there are 2 stars by it. So if I check that off, she now gets those 2 stars. And under the rewards tab, we can see that she now has 2 stars, and she is on her way to redeeming her reward. And in the app, you can go and add stars manually for anyone that has been doing some extra work. I know that having this reward system is really going to be motivational for the kids, and I think it's great that we have the opportunity to celebrate their hard work that they have put in. We could even go and create like a reward for the whole family. Maybe we got 1,000 points, and then we took that one big trip we've always been wanting to do. So if they are putting in the effort, they would all have to work together, then we could do some more things. And I love how it is all trackable right here. Now, overall, love how all the Calendar Plus features really enhance what this can do. Having that Sidekick feature makes it really easy to import information, the rewards, and then that recipes is so awesome to be able to have that right here on the display. We can easily start cooking something, seeing all the items we need, and I love how I can add all those items to the shopping list so that I know what to get while I'm at the store. Now I know that the Skylight Calendar Max is not the only smart display out there, so let's go ahead and do a comparison between the Calendar Max as well as the Echo Show 21. So here on the top, we have the Skylight Calendar Max coming in at 27 inches, very nice big display. And then down here, we have the Echo Show 21, 21-inch screen, and pretty good looking display. There you can see it is quite bigger to see this from far away. Now the Echo Show 21 is quite different. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it. Sometimes I don't know if that's always good to have so many things on here. I'll talk about that in a bit. But one thing is we can see our calendar on here. So if we go in, we have the calendar right here. We can open this up and kind of compare how they look between each other. So far, it's taking a long time to load. We're here, our calendar is ready to go at all times. We can see everything. So you do have a few different options here. We can see the day view. So if we want to compare directly, very similar. We can see day to day. This is showing more on the calendar, where here we need to scroll down to see the rest of the day. And then we have the month view on both. Here we can go to just today, and that's showing, this thing where we can't adjust it. I can't see it all on the screen at once. This would be similar where we're in the week view, and there I'd have to scroll as well, but I can't change anything about how this is looking. Then if we go to the week view, similar here where we can see all the events, but I have to scroll. I can't even see all the events at one time, where if we're on the schedule view, I can see the full day, and I can pinch and zoom this to see the full day. So there you can see, I can see it, and then I can even zoom in, and then I can even zoom in if I want. So really customizable, where this just kind of all there, and you would have to scroll up and down to see everything that's going on. Then if we go into the full month, very similar, where here you are just seeing a ton of different events on the screen at one time. So it's nice, the Echo Show does have the calendar, but if you were looking for a display that displays your calendar the best, I'd say the Calendar Max is the way to go. Now, other than the calendar, a few things is they both look really nice. They're very simple, clean. You do have the option on the Calendar Max to rotate it different ways. The Echo Show can only be mounted this way. So it does come with a bracket as well to mount. There is no level on the bracket, so that is on the Calendar Max, which is really nice to have. But they both have the cord that comes down and everything else similar like that. Here it is showing it has the weather and the time as well, but you're not seeing the date and the day of the week. Now on the Echo Show, you do have widgets, so you can customize what is showing up on the screen. You also have the shopping list where you can add, and you have some reminders and tasks. One of the benefits is you can receive notifications because it has a built-in speaker, and it does have a microphone with a voice assistant, where you don't have a speaker or a camera or a mic on the Calendar Max, but that's better for privacy. If you don't want to have any of that in your home, that's always nice to have, where here, it has access to all those things. You can turn off the camera, but definitely a device that is built for a little bit different purpose. Now, when directly comparing these two on what they can do, they're really quite different devices. Now, one of the things the Echo Show can do is it can be a media player. You can watch movies, you can open apps and do all kinds of things. Here, I also have control of my smart home, so it has access to all of those things. But after having so many different devices in the home that can play media, I'm ready to not have as many devices in the home that can play media. We love having a TV and being able to do that, but I don't need every device in my house to do that, because the kids are going to figure out how to use it, and then they're going to just be here and watching movies instead of going out and playing, getting things done. So sometimes it's nice to have a device that can't do everything. And that's what I've really liked so far about the Skylight calendar, is because it just is that calendar. It's the productivity device. We need more of that in our lives. We don't need to sit and watch shows and do all of that as much. This does play music, which is nice as well, but sometimes I don't want all of that in the home, and that's where the Calendar Max is great for. Now, a few years ago, I added all kinds of different smart displays to the home, and I quickly saw how they weren't being utilized like I wanted them to. Just being able to watch videos is what the kids wanted to do. So I can really see how the Calendar Max is beneficial over that. Now, another thing to compare is the app. Amazon app's pretty slow, and it's not really functional to quickly get things done. And even just finding the calendar to turn off took me a bit of time to do here with Amazon's device. But with the Skylight, having everything simplified in the one app, that's the one app I need to go to adjust things, to work on productivity, calendar, recipe, scheduling, all that is built in that one app. Makes it very simple and easy for me to use and understand what is going on. Now the question is, what does the family think of the rest of the devices? Well, many of them would like to sit and watch TV, but that's not going to happen. Having a calendar, though, has been very helpful because of the task options. They are productive now in getting that task selected and doing things like brushing the teeth, which maybe they aren't typically doing, but seeing it there helps them think, all right, I have to do this, and we don't have to constantly remind them about those simple things. Now, the other thing to think about is the price. So the Echo Show is $399, but to use the Alexa Plus features that are on here now is an extra $19.99 a month. So something that you're gonna have to be paying for long term. Now with the Calendar Max, the price is gonna be $599 or up to $629 for all those main features. And then if you want those extra features, $79 a year, not very much to have those enhanced features. I think that this pricing is unique and it works out to have something like this in the home that's gonna help the family be more productive. After using the Skylight Calendar Max for the last week, I can really see how this can be the ultimate productivity device for our home, being able to organize all the different things that we're doing in one, and then we can work together to get things done in the home. So if you're looking for an all-in-one calendar that can help your family, make sure you check out the link in the description or you scan the QR code on screen to go and pick yours up today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.